Welcome to the Church of Thomas. This is 5:21:10, Family Commitments. Jesus saw family commitments through a different lens than most of us. Nowadays, family commitments are more flexible, but at that time, the idea of leaving your family's home and striking out on your own was frowned upon. You had duties, you had a status within your family, depending on your birth order, and your duties revolved around that. Jesus, as the firstborn, was responsible for his family after Joseph died. He tried to fulfill his commitments, and when he got to be 30, God's call got to be too strong, and he decided it was time. So he headed out on his ministry. There are some verses that sort of highlight some of the things that Jesus felt was important to keep in mind when it came to family commitments. The first one is Matthew 8:18 through 22. The cost of following Jesus. When Jesus saw the crowd around him, he gave orders to cross the other side of the lake. Then a teacher of the law came to him and said, "Teacher, I will follow you wherever you go." Jesus replied, "Foxes have holes and birds of the air have nests, but the Son of Man has no place to lay his head." Another disciple said to him, "Lord, first let me go and bury my father." But Jesus told him, "Follow me and let the dead bury their own." Then there's the famous quote that most people can remember. Matthew, 12:46 through 50. While Jesus was still talking to the crowd, his mother and brothers stood outside wanting to speak to him. Someone told him, "Your mother and brothers are standing outside wanting to speak to you." He replied to them, "Who is my mother and who are my brothers?" Pointing to his disciples, he said, "Here are my mother and my brothers. For whoever does the will of my Father in heaven is my brother and sister and mother." In the Reconciler Gospel of Thomas, there's also some verses that speak to family commitments. Reconciler verse 55, Jesus said, "Love begins at home, but if it is chained there, you can never follow in my path. Loving all is the one way to be able to bear the cross. Love God first, because all other love is hollow without it." Gospel of Thomas, verse 99. Jesus' students said, "Your mother and brother are standing outside, insisting that they see you." Jesus said, "Those who do the will of the one are my siblings. Blood kin may also share the same spirit of the one, but those of like mind are already related. Giving your love to everyone, we will be together with the one." Jesus had a problem because he lived in a society where basically his role was written when he was born. His mom apparently had decided to sublimate the knowledge that she had that he was special. She probably figured that he could do his duty to God through the family unit instead of striking out on his own. He did have a couple of brothers follow him into this, which probably didn't help either. Thomas and James were both disciples of his, and as a result, probably impoverished the family for male leadership roles. If you decide that you want to follow God, that you want to do as Jesus did, then the way to do it is to embrace the entire world as your siblings, to take responsibility as a family commitment to the world. If you limit your family commitments to a small group of people that you have blood relationships to, then you are limiting your potential to do the work of God. Without reaching beyond your family units, you are limiting the impact of the love that God wants to show everybody. Because there are many people who don't have family that can show them love. If you don't embrace these people and include them as part of your family, then they're left out. To do good sometimes means going against society's norms. It means accepting that you aren't going to be fulfilling the role that everybody thinks you're going to. You're going to be an outcast. But being an outcast is actually blessed in the eyes of Jesus and of God. To do what is right, despite the cost. To leave the family unit and let the dead bury themselves. To let the family know you through God instead of limiting it only to your family is the way that Jesus would have led you. So I ask everybody to expand their definition of family and question how you are seeing yourself within your family group. If you are the youngest and you're supposed to be there for comic relief and to get petted on and you're the one everybody takes care of, what if you're a leader? Are you ever going to fulfill that duty to God as a leader? Or are you always going to be the youngest? What if you're the oldest and you have taken care of a bunch of other siblings who are younger? They look to you for leadership, support, and maybe you are the glue that holds the family together. But consider this. If you have a way of healing and being supportive to a vast number of people, and you only are supportive to your family, then God is not working through you. I hope everybody finds a way to bear their own cross as Jesus did, and to reach beyond their families, to find their role in the family of God's family. God bless the whole world, no exceptions. Angel Eliza.